Hey guys, FunnyGuyTimmy here, doing a kind of a mic review, not quite, and again, kind of like the MXL 770 that I did before. I don't really want to call this a mic review because I didn't get this brand new, so I don't know if any of the issues that I might have are because of wear and tear or if it's because of how the microphone actually is. But still wanted to do kind of a review, talk about this microphone, because it's a mic that I don't own it. It's actually a mic that my brother owns. I actually got it for him a ways back for doing Skype and gaming and stuff like that. It is the AudioTechnica AT2020 USB, and I got it for him because it's plug and play, goes right into the computer. It has live monitoring, and it has headphone volume control, and as well as a knob that gives you the ability to change how much of the microphone you hear and how much of the computer audio you hear. So it's kind of a very versatile mic. Since then, however, we now have a interface in there as well as a small MXL 991 microphone attached to a boom arm with a dead cat. So it kind of, all that replaced this. So it's a microphone that's just been kind of lying around for a while. It's not really, we don't really use it anymore. But I still wanted to talk about it because it's one of the few USB mics that I think really, it's one of the better USB mics. But it's not without flaws. It still has that microphone sound. And I don't know if you guys can hear it all that well, but if you get like S's, like it's very sharp. It's very sharp and very tinny. It's very, very bright on the sibilant sounds. It doesn't really have much bass, and it's just really, really, it's not very pleasant. That's the USB sound that we're talking about. When people talk about that USB sound, that's normally what they're talking about. It sounds mechanical. It sounds really, really bright and kind of hollow and doesn't have any presence, and it's not flattering on the low ends. That's normally what the USB sound is. But is that to say that the USB microphones are not worth buying? No, that's not what that means. Certain USB microphones are definitely not worth buying. I don't feel like the Blue Yeti is worth the price. It's just way too much there's too many features that you don't need in the Blue Yeti. I think it basically sounds very similar to the AudioTechnica USB, the AudioTechnica 2020 USB, but it just has extra features that you really don't need, like omnidirectional, figure 8, where you can have two people talking. It's really not necessary, and it's incredibly bulky, and it just costs way too much. You can probably get this one for like $100 and the Blue Yeti for like $170, $150, something like that. It used to be in the $200 range, and this one used to be in the $150 range, but they've both dropped since then. But the reason that I say that this one's not bad is because it's not that hard to EQ and compress and clean up this. This is the kind of microphone that I was using for a while, back before really I got this entire setup. Before I really fastened all this up and got a better microphone and really knew what I was doing, this is more or less the kind of microphone that I was using. And I didn't know how to clean it up then, but I know how to clean it up now. So what I'm actually going to do is I'm actually going to give you some silence so you can listen to the noise of this microphone. And again, I don't know if it's because it's used, because I got it secondhand, so I don't know if it's used and that's why it's got kind of a noise to it, or if that's just the mic. But let's listen to it real quick. You can hear that kind of noise. Yeah, that's that. And because it's not going into an interface, and it is the interface all of that noise would be inside the microphone. All of that would be generated within this package, which is another reason a lot of people don't like USB mics, is that if there's any problem with it, it's the whole thing. If anything, if I'm doing audio or voiceover with my Sennheiser MKH416 and I'm hearing a noise, it can be tons of different things that would be easier to replace. Like maybe it's the cable. Could be the cable, or it could be that the cable is on the ground piled up and there's like a power cable right by it and it's getting some interference. Maybe the settings on the mixer are wrong. Maybe the mixer is going out, or maybe that one channel is going out and I can just change channels, something like that. So there's more options. But if this starts going out, it's the whole thing. It's the whole thing. Got to replace the whole thing. So, but now let's EQ and compress it real quick. All right, so there's some silence with now it compressed and EQ'd. Now, I'm not the first person to talk about this microphone, obviously. I'm not the first person to really address the USB issue. There's been tons of voice actors who have addressed USB versus XLR. It's not a fair fight. It's not a fair comparison. I don't feel like there's any USB mic that is pro level or industry standard pro level. I don't think that there's any of those out there. But do I think that they're worth buying if you don't have enough room or enough money for an entire setup? Yeah. And you just need to get started? Yeah. What would I say this is good for? This is probably good for maybe like an on-the-road microphone, if you were to take this on the road, because it's all in one. It's all in one package. Just bundle up nice, put it in your bag. Make sure you got a USB cord and a small laptop and headphones and some kind of stand, and you're basically ready to go. You don't need extra cables. You don't need the XLR cable. It's just the computer is providing its phantom power, which is probably another reason that USB is probably not as good as XLRs, because you can change, like let's say this mixer, my Yamaha mixer, isn't providing the right amount of phantom power to my shotgun mic. And so I'm having to turn up the gain a lot, and so I'm getting the noise generated from the mixer or the microphone because I'm having to turn the gain up so high. Well, I can get another power supply to boost the microphone, so that way I can turn the gain down and not get so much of the self-generated noise by either the mic or the mixer. You can't do that with these. There's noise. If whatever power you can get from the computer, that's all the power you're getting. You can't change it. You can't add a new channel in. You can't do anything. It goes right into the computer. That's it. But I think these are not bad. It's not bad. If you need a microphone, like I've said before, there was a period when I wasn't able to use my Sennheiser MKH416 because I think it was my Zoom H6 went out, and this was before I got my Yamaha mixer, so I didn't have an interface to connect the microphone to. So for a while I was literally just using I think it was the Samson CO1U Pro, which is a USB mic. And I told clients that I was using that, and they were totally fine. And I did work using that microphone, and everyone was happy. So again, it depends on the microphone. It depends on your situation. Depends on the treatment. Treatment is very important. And your budget. This is a totally fine buy. Even as a used mic, if you guys think that this still sounds fine for you, link will be down in the description. I'm sure that a brand new one would sound better, but I have nothing to compare it to. But anyway, if you guys liked the video, give it a thumbs up. If you didn't, give it a thumbs down. Totally fine. Subscribe if you're new. Hit notification bell for notifications. Leave down in the comment section below if you want to see a different video or see this microphone shot out compared to other microphones. And until next time, peace.